Go for gold.
Welcome back to another episode of Wisco Fanatics, Wisco Fanatic Wednesday. Tyler and myself are here to break down the last week's games of the Milwaukee Brewers season, Cardinals and Cubs, division champs, all that good stuff. Cubs getting eliminated, so that was a great time to be alive. And then we have a preview for the Wisconsin Badgers versus the Rutgers Scarlet Knights game. Joined by Mikey later, obviously. We always love having Mike on.
Yeah. So before we start talking about some baseball games, we're excited. We have our special announcement. We have decided how we are going to do our giveaway for hitting 5,000 followers, which happened a couple weeks ago. It's going to culminate in the Wisco Collect event on October 28th because they are giving us a huge piece of the giveaway bundle. So that's when the final day will be for it. But we're going to do something kind of like a scavenger hunt type thing. So we are going to mix a 13-letter phrase in with our content over the next 3.5 weeks because we want this giveaway to go to somebody who's an avid follower of our content. Not that, the 5,000 followers that we have aren't all valued, but we want it to go to somebody who really takes the time to follow along with our content. So we're going to mix it in with videos on Wednesdays. We're going to mix it in with some of our posts, and we're going to mix it in with some of our videos and some of our graphics. So it's a 13-letter phrase, and it's I'll give you a clue. It's 3 words, and we're going to give you the first letter today, and it's D. So 13 letters, 3 words, starting today. The first letter is D. Now, the first person who comments on our live show that we are going to do on October 28th at the Wisco Collect event, that will be the person who wins the giveaway. It's going to be the first person who comments at the 10-minute mark of our live Wisco Collect event on October 28th. That's who's going to win the giveaway for our 5,000 followers, which we appreciate. So, yeah,
Yes,
we wanted to have a little fun with it, and we wanted to make sure it went to somebody who's really an avid follower of our content, and we appreciate Wisco Collect and for Cardboard Legacy for throwing in some things with this giveaway, so we're really excited about it.
Yes. I'm excited to see who wins. This will be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Just a reminder for anybody, if you miss any of the live shows that we do, you can always catch them on YouTube as a replay. You can listen to them on podcast apps, and you can find them actually on YouTube. Has their own podcasting now, so it's on there as well. But all right, so we're gonna run through these last week of Brewer games kind of quickly. Honestly, last Wednesday we had talked about the Brewers clinching the division, so all of these games were not quite meaningless, but they were pretty laid back, I'll say. So I don't really plan on going through the full recaps on all of them. Just to list some takeaways, and then we really want to spend a lot of time on last night's game. So, Jake, give me the Cliff Notes version of your notes from last Wednesday's game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, so for me, the game 2, Brewers won 3-2 against the Cardinals. Wade Miley pitched really good in that one. His first pitch strikes were tremendous, 16 of 20. So he really got ahead of the count on a lot of guys. Controlled the strike zone, 5 innings pitched, only gave up 1 earned run. Tyrone Taylor was the offense, it seemed like. I mean, Tellez had an RBI as well, but Tyrone Taylor with two RBIs, one of them with 2 outs. He had 2 doubles as well. Anderson, Tellez, and Contreras also had doubles. The Brewers won this one despite going 2 of 13 with runners in scoring position. So, I mean, they got to win. The pitching was dominant. Uribe, Payamps, Shafin, and Williams all pitched in this one. So, to only give up 2 runs, that's Brewers baseball.
Yeah, my big things with this was looking at the Brewers offense. They went 1, 2, 3 only 3 times, and in 4 of the 9 innings they had multiple base runners. So that's pretty good. William Contreras had a double that extended his hitting streak to 14. And like last week I said, having a lot of pitchers that can get ground balls is beneficial. The Brewers got 3 ground into double plays this game.
I like it.
All right. Cardinals game 3.
So a shutout, final game of oh, by the way, I saw Dan this last weekend.
Nice.
In real life. We were at the Oktoberfest, and I just tapped on his shoulder, and he looked around. He's like, was wondering who the hell touched me, man. I was like, what's up, man? But anyways, hi, Dan. How you doing, buddy? Final game versus the Cardinals this season. Oh, wait. Am I messing up? No, I'm correct. Final game versus the Cardinals. Brewers shut them out 3-0. Corbin Burns only pitched 4 innings in this one. 5 hits, 0 earned runs. Yelly and Contreras had RBIs. Donaldson, Yelly, and Mitchell had doubles. Santana had a double. Ouch, that's wrong notes. They went 2 for 6 runners in scoring position. I wrote really small, and I wrote them all next to each other. So I told you I did not take a lot of notes.
Corbin Burns got his 200th strikeout of the season. It was actually his 3rd straight season of getting 200 strikeouts. Obviously, we're going to come back to Burns when we talk about last night's game. But what's up?
I was going to say I'm disappointed we didn't bring that up on Monday. We didn't bring that up on Monday, and he was named a team MVP. Nobody said that about 3 straight seasons.
Yeah, we didn't list that. All right, that's fair. Garrett Mitchell was back. He had a double and 2 walks. Dan said, "Do we have to?" Oh, we're going to, Dan. We have some scathing indictments of our fan base that we're going to discuss. Ethan Small also got his 200th, or not his 200th. Ethan Small doesn't have 200 anythings yet. Burns got his 200th strikeout. Ethan Small got his first, the first save of his career.
Yeah.
Julio Teheran made a great appearance, and he was DFA'd after. He wasn't going to make the postseason roster, and he wasn't making another appearance in the regular season. That's why he was DFA'd to clear a roster spot. So I'll say on the subject, thank you, Julio Teheran. You gave the Brewers a big bridge. Like Julio Teheran built a really big bridge for the Brewers across this this regular season. So
Good.
Thank you to Julio Teheran. This was the Brewers' 15th shutout of the season.
Love that.
Yeah. All right. Cubs game 1.
So the Brewers ended up winning this one in extra innings, which is exciting. Carlos Santana with 3 of the 4 RBIs. Contreras added 1. Santana had a double and his first triple of the year. He was moving. Old man was moving. Adames also had a double. Colin Ray pitched 5 scoreless innings, had 6 strikeouts. Bryce Wilson, Clayton Andrews also in this one. And I'm going to leave the star of the game for you.
So this thing for me was looking at it was the Cubs had to use their whole A bullpen. They were clinging to playoff life at this point. Colin Ray, you mentioned the 5 innings of 6 strikeouts. He only gave up 2 hits and only pitched 67 pitches. So that to me was like, I wrote in my notes for this game. Obviously, I know today, but I didn't know when we took these notes. I have wrote that I think he's making the playoff roster, and he did. William Contreras extended his hitting streak to 16 in the first inning. And Caleb Bosley. It's weird because his last name looks like it should be Bushley, but it's Bosley. He is a Neenah, Wisconsin native, made his debut. I like that they have a little patch on their jerseys that say when they have their MLB debut. I actually really like that Major League Baseball does that.
That's like what the NFL did this year with the rookies.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
He pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up an earned run, had 5 strikeouts, even though he's not known as a strikeout guy, and collected a W. So good for him. That's just a cool moment that we got. That's one of those things that we were able to experience over the last week of the season, having the division wrapped up. All right, game 2.
So the Cubs gave it everything they have in this one. They took this game. Brewers lost 10-6, but as we said before, we were pretty laid back. We as emotionally invested as we normally were in these ones. So Eric Lauer started this one, got beat up a little bit. I don't know what happened to Eric Lauer, but he's not the same person as he was last year, and that kind of sucks. I hope that he can kind of right the ship because he was a really big piece for us last season. He actually looked promising at a lot of times, honestly. Trevor McGill, Uribe, Milner, Piamps, and Williams also got work in this one. Kind of just cleaned some things up so they weren't just sitting on their behind, until the playoffs. So that was great work by CC. Carlos Santana had a 2-out RBI. Taylor, Adames, and Perkins added RBIs. Adames and Perkins 2 each. Santana and Perkins at home run. Santana destroyed a baseball. The Brewers were down 3-0 to start, or 6-0 to start this one. Ended up tying this one on a Santana home run with 2 outs. So that was phenomenal. I mean, it's whatever that we lost, but I thought it was funny that Cubs fans were talking after they were up 6-0, and then we tied it again. I was like, oh no. They got to stop doing that, bro.
Yeah, they really do. Because it was funny because the Cubs got eliminated before this game was even over.
I know, it's so funny.
We'll talk about Eric Lauer a little more in the offseason. I have some thoughts. I'll save them until then. Main thing that I was looking at with this is the Brewers as a team. They only went 1-2-3 one time in this game.
I like that.
So that's definitely good to see. William Contreras extended his hitting streak to 17 with 2 hits. Willie Adames had 3 hits. And then McGill, Uribe, Milner, Piamps, and Devin Williams all got a tune-up in this game before we headed into the playoffs. And that was pretty much all I had from Game 2. We can talk Game 3, and then we will do the wild card game.
So, Game 3, another shutout. Final game, final home game of the regular season. Final game versus the Cubs, their final game, and they get shut out. So their fans talking about, plus minus all damn year, and they get shut out in their final game. Adrian Hauser started this one, 5 innings of 0 earned runs and 5 strikeouts. Chafin, inning and a third. Jansen Junk, when you get shut out by Jansen Junk, you got problems.
I commented, and I'm like, we made the Cubs look at our junk.
Yeah. Because we did, and that's a fantastic comment. Tyrone Taylor with a home run in this one with 2 outs. Donaldson, Canna, and Mitchell also with RBIs. So it's an all-around good day. Brewers baseball get a win versus the bad guys.
Yeah, so the Brewers as a team batting, they only went 1-2-3-1, which is encouraging. They did strike out 13 times, which is a lot, but they also drew 6 walks. So, just seeing a lot of pitches, really. The Cubs, however, they went 1-2-3 4 times and only had 1 base runner 4 times.
Oh, damn.
So 8 out of the 9 innings, they didn't get 2 guys on base.
That's insane, actually. I like that.
This ended up being the Brewers' 16th shutout of the season, and they finished at 92 wins, which is 1 win higher than my 3-game kind of window that I kind of expected them to be in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll do. I'm sure soon, like a regular season wrap up for the Brewers at some point whenever they end up eliminated from the playoffs. If they end up eliminated from the playoffs, it's not over till it's over, which we will discuss after we talk about last night's game. So, Jake, you wanted to go first in this segment, so I will let you go first, but I'm sure we're going to have a lot of discussion flying through talking about last night's game, and it's not going to be pretty, even in the sense of not even talking about the game, honestly.
Oh, now we're bastards, Tim? Okay, I see how. So, I'm going to get serious for a sec, man. I'm going to rein this camera. I'm going to get serious for a sec.
Yeah, it's going to be serious.
What the hell happened to competition? I'm being dead serious when I say this. When I see comments of people just crying and crying and crying, the first thing that comes to mind is this how you act in your daily life? I truly want to know. Because life is hard. It is not pretty all the time. And if you want to correlate it to baseball and correlate it to any sport, right? You can be down 5-0 in the bottom of the ninth sometimes in life. That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
But no matter what, you have to get up to bat. And you have to swing for the fucking fences. And that's okay.
Yeah.
The Brewers lost a game last night. One singular game.
Yep.
One. Not like 15 in a row. Not 108 years without a World Series. They lost one goddamn game. And it's all over. Just like in June, when Ella De La Cruz stole home. Or when, same month, when they lost to the Oakland Athletics at home. The season's over. The season is not over. Not yet, at least. So it's okay that they lost the game. Am I mad about it? No. Am I disappointed? Yes. Those are two very different things. Can I be disappointed in my team? Yes. But there's still good things that came out of this game. They got 12 hits. They had 4 walks. They were on base all night. They just didn't get the big hit. So who's to say the next 2 games they don't get 12 hits and they hit 8 of 9 were runners in scoring position. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there. And we absolutely obliterate them the next 2 days. Nobody's saying that it can't happen just because you're looking at a name who's pitching. That doesn't matter. There's going to be a guy on the mound that has to throw the baseball to the Brewers hitters. The Brewers hitters are going to take the bat, and they're either going to get a hit or they're not going to get a hit. And that's just the way it goes. Just like in life, you're left with a lot of decisions, right? You do this or you do this, and that's what your outcome is. But holy shit, people. Like, really? Like, you going to cry this much over one baseball game? Or when the Packers lose, you're going to cry this much over one football game? Or Badgers or Bucks, etc., etc. I'm so sick and tired of it. It's a game. It's a form of entertainment. And yes, we all love it and we're passionate about it. Tyler and I literally are giving our lives for this. This is our passion. This is what we do. And we got the 5,000 followers. And thank you for that. We really appreciate that, truly. But we're not going to sit here and cry after every single loss. We're going to look for things to build on. We're going to look for ways to win. And then when they win, it's going to be sweet. So that's all I got right now. But please, for the love of God, understand that it's a game. And where is your competitive heart? That's all I ask.
So, in response to what you said, my question would be: is let's say the Brewers do come back and win the next two, because as we posted on the page today, the Brewers had 6 series this year, where they lost the first one and then won the next 2. So they've done it before.
Yep.
Yes, I understand the playoffs are different, but you're still playing the same game. You're playing at the same place. So my question is, let's say the Brewers win these next 2. Mm-hmm. Do you want the emotions of your past to repeat themselves in your future?
No.
So my question to people who, and this literally happened, people who feel the need to comment the literal words "fuck you" on the Brewers Twitter page after posting the final score, how long do you plan on letting your emotions based on outside stimulus to control your actions? To me, it's something that we've kind of tried to work on a little bit, as you know, the stance that we take with our show is being different than other sports shows, by wanting to be able to relate some of the lessons that sports can teach us about life, because that's something that we grew up actually learning. You know, we spent a lot of time, you know, playing sports and learning life lessons from it, and we're trying to do the same now as fans of professional sports teams, and then, you know, relating the analysis to that. Mm-hmm. But there's some emotional intelligence to be had here.
Yeah.
And I, quite frankly, embarrassed by how Wisconsin sports fans have reacted lately with their lack of emotional intelligence. Yeah. And we can talk about some of the players, which we will. And we'll continue to have these sorts of discussions. But Michael said, "Hey guys, I too was very disappointed in our play last night. So many opportunities. Winker making the roster and looking horrible in his lone at bat. Monasterio at third tonight. Dude is playing so good to have on the bench." Well, they're going with the same lineup as they went with last night. Donaldson over Monasterio isn't a super big thing for me. Donaldson has way more experience, and he's been a little bit better of a power hitter for the Brewers. He offers more lineup protection to a guy like Willy Adames to maybe get him to see some better pitches than an Andrew Monasterio, who's a rookie. As for Jesse Winker, we can just jump into this right away. We posted Jesse Winker's stats from last night, that he was 352 with runners on base, 353 with runners in scoring position, 417 as a pinch hitter, and I believe 389 as a high leverage in high leverage situations. So just going by the numbers, like 389, that's still 611 of a failure percentage. 352 is 648. 353 is 647. 417 is still 583. The fact that he went 0 for 1 in a scenario where he was leading off an inning with nobody on base, as one of 35 batters that the Brewers sent to the plate last night, That is 2.8% of the Brewers at bats last night. And people are hanging on that one. And not only that, it's not like they sent him up there to pinch hit for Christian Yelich or William Contreras. They sent him up for Bryce Terang, who was 0 for 1 with a walk and a sacrifice bunt.
Who also isn't very good at hitting, by the way. As much as we love Bryce, don't get me wrong, but
right,
he's not a very good hitter.
Invaluable.
Yeah.
But he's got work to do as a hitter.
100%.
And I brought up all of those situational statistics is why he made the roster. Not to mention the fact that he's an experienced veteran.
Yep.
And people just fixated on that. And the thing that annoyed the hell out of me was, how did all those stats work out? I'm like, nothing changed about the stats. They're all still factual.
Yeah. That's the thing about numbers is you can't really argue with them because they are what they are.
And we've said this before. Like, baseball is a sport of failure. You kind of really just have to accept that if you're going to be a baseball fan.
Yeah.
The best players succeed on average about 30% of the time.
Yeah. That's like, there's a guy that wins the batting title known as like the best hitter because he fails the least amount of times.
Yeah.
And it's like not even by like a crazy margin either. It's like
crazy that there was a guy this year that succeeded 34.6% of the time.
And he's the best.
He's the best.
30. Dude, if I was only 34% accurate at work, I would get fired tomorrow.
Yeah. So for people berating everything that the franchise has done to this point based on 2.8% of the offense last night is wild to me.
Yeah.
So we start with that on Jesse Winker. As far as the offense goes, 11 men left on base is the biggest story of the game. Lots of base runners. Like Jake said, they just couldn't get the big hit to put up a big number in an inning.
Which they've done a lot, by the way.
Right. Bryce Terang almost tied the game by getting hit by a pitch. It was really close. It just bounced in front of his foot. They had lots of guys and opportunities. They just needed one more guy to get on base somehow.
Dude, Evan Longoria made a crazy play with the bases loaded.
Yeah, he did.
Crazy double play. And if that ball is 2 inches higher, he's probably not catching that. And we're not even having this conversation right now. We're talking about how Tyrone Taylor, that was Tyrone Taylor, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Yeah, how Tyrone Taylor hit a home run and then he ripped a double that took the lead. Like, people got to understand, like, these games are literally games of inches. That was a crazy play by Evan Longoria. Don't get me wrong. In my opinion, Evan Longoria won the game for them last night.
I agree.
He had a couple crazy defensive plays.
Yes, he
did. And he had a couple hits when he shouldn't have. And it was like, Evan Longoria played good. That's why I was texting you. I was like, dude, did he go in a goddamn time machine?
He took a Willy Adames double away, turned it into an infield single.
Yeah.
Like that would have put him in scoring position. And I think Donaldson grounded into a double play after that, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
So if he's on second base, then you're looking at 1 out for Bryce Terang with a man on second base.
Well, still, even think about this, right? If he gets a double, the defense is probably set up differently for Donaldson.
That's very true.
So who knows that same exact hit, if he's getting that same exact pitch, that same exact hit could be a hit and a run.
Sure.
Could be an RBI single. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know. That's the thing about sports, man. It's
right. And that's the thing is, like, Tyrone Taylor did his job in that moment. The fact that the Brewers didn't cash in on it isn't for a lack of Tyrone Taylor hitting the ball hard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to tell you this, like, as far as baseball goes, like, people aren't going up there looking to be like, all right, I'm going to get a hit. I'm going to hit the ball to this spot and I'm going to hit it there and I'm going to get this many bases. Like, guys go up thinking, hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
Make solid contact, things like that. That's fundamentals.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's, you get the visualization like William Contreras does of, wanting to hit the home runs in the biggest moments and things like that. But Tyrone Taylor did his job in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Willy Adames was going on contact because he wanted to score on that play. And he would have.
Yeah.
Even if the left fielder cuts that ball off, Willy Adames is still scoring because he had a good jump on the contact.
Yep. They were sending him too because the game would have already been tied. So I think
Right.
they were sending him either way.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I have as far as the offense. On the defensive side of the ball and the pitching, Burns and Williams, it's tough. We are in a position where we lost our second best starter. Brandon Woodruff is still our second best starter. Don't need to get into that. But it's tough because no other team in history has had all-star pitchers from that season allow these numbers in a playoff game. 6 earned runs, 5 walks, and 3 home runs.
Ugh.
So if there's anything that can tell you that your ace can be beat in a playoff game, it's last night.
Yeah.
And people are acting like Zach Gallen is actual Cy Young.
Yeah.
Like, he's struggled lately. We posted his numbers from his career games against the Brewers. They're not as good as Freddie Peralta's career numbers against the Diamondbacks.
True.
Zach Gallen versus the Brewers in 6 games has a 1.75 career ERA and a 2.28 batting average against. Freddie Peralta against the Diamondbacks in his career has a 0.55 ERA and a 0.040 batting average against.
Damn.
So this game could 100% end up being a pitcher's duel. The Brewers could have to win a 1-0 game tonight.
Yeah.
That could be the reality of this game.
I'll take a 1-0 win. I ain't like that.
It'll be stressful, and we know that. The Brewers played stressful games all season.
Yeah.
Why would it be any different?
This team is definitely battle tested, so I don't know why anybody's flipping out.
So before I get to a couple takeaways, I want to hammer on this again. Our fans can do a hell of a lot better job representing our fan base on social media.
Yeah.
I am truly embarrassed about how people reacted after last night.
Yeah.
So Dominic Cotroneo had an interesting thing to say about this game. He said, I can't help but think about the last time a team from Milwaukee faced a team from Phoenix in the postseason and fell behind in a series.
Just saying. Just saying, bro.
So, I mean, you think about Kobe Bryant, the interview that he did where he's, job's not done. Job's not finished. What's there to be happy about? Job's not finished. What's there to be crying about? If the Brewers lose tonight, you'll have all offseason to cry. You can wait another 24 hours before letting the waterworks go. Because they're not done. They're not done. Michael said, what? We shouldn't fire Counsell? Should have fired Counsell the day he was hired.
Yeah. Why would you let him get to 700 career wins?
Yeah. Why would you let that guy make a playoffs a bunch of times? And the thing is that after Corbin Burns up to Devin Williams, Counsell pushed all the right buttons with the bullpen.
I agree.
Everybody that came in did a great job. And I want to start with Abner Uribe. Abner Uribe came in the 5th inning with runners on first and second base and nobody out.
Mm-hmm.
The first batter he faced, he got to ground out. So then he's facing second and third with only 1 out. Did not allow a run.
23 years old.
Go ahead.
23 years old, dude.
Yeah. Vinny talked about it on Monday when we did our regular season awards. For him to have pitched, I believe, 88 innings in the minor leagues. That's it. And now here he is making waves in the playoffs.
Man.
Colby Milner pitched in this game. Yoel Payams pitched in this game. Elvis Peguero pitched in this game. Elvis Peguero, also a rookie. I mean, the bullpen did a great job, as did Greg Counsell.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to hang your hat on Jesse Winker as, they're not doing the right job, that's less than 3% of the batters. Next thing, Christian Yelich as the leadoff guy. He was on base 3 times, 2 walks and a single. He did his job to get on base.
Yep.
And then Willie Adames was also 3 for 4. I mean, the Brewers did their stuff. I mean, Sal Frelick was on base twice. I mean, there's honestly, outside of the end result, there's not a ton to complain about, really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, leaving runners on base sucks, but just being able to get runners on base is a good thing for the Brewers. Obviously, Corbin Burns not having his best game isn't ideal, but
Right.
the matter is the Brewers are not done. And like I said, like we on this show, we have always preached 2 out of 3. Just win series. Just win series. Winning 2 out of 3 in every series puts you at a 108 win season. The
Yeah.
Brewers are in the same spot. They need to win 2 out of 3. They lost the first one, so they need to win the next 2. They've done it 6 times this year. Now, this is a conversation that I want to have based on this game. Is I believe, and coaches that I've talked to, people closer to the team that we've had discussions with, whether it be Vinny Rottino or Mike Spofford, is I believe that you learn a lot more about your character when you're losing than when you're winning.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is that the character of a lot, I won't say all, and I think that as far as Wisco Fanatics is concerned, we've done a pretty good job of cultivating this, is that the character of Wisconsin sports fans as far as social media is concerned is weak.
100%.
I'm sorry. Actually, I'm really not sorry. If it wasn't social media, I would tell it to your face too. If your first reaction to a loss is to immediately be negative and say, "Oh, we're done," even though they're literally not done, or to go and say, "Oh, with the benefit of hindsight, how did it go for the Brewers to be 8th and with runners in scoring position when they couldn't get runners in scoring position?" You have the benefit of hindsight. It doesn't change anything factual. And going back to try to act like it does just makes you a dick, doesn't make you correct, doesn't make your narrative that you're trying to push correct. Literally going to the team's social media page to say fuck you after losing, it's weak character. There's really no other way around it, and it's like I said, I really honestly it doesn't I'm not really sorry to say it.
What do you gain from doing that?
Right.
Does it make the loss go away? Does it make you feel better? It does none of those things. All it does is make you look like a moron. Now
It
you look
makes
like a crybaby moron.
That's the exact word that I used with several people last night, calling people crybabies.
Seriously. Kicking and screaming, wanting your way. It's not how life works. And
Yeah,
obviously the players don't want that result either. Craig
right.
Counsell didn't want that result either. Nobody in the Brewers organization wanted that.
Hmm. Can I give you
I
an
just don't
example of what it
understand the
feels
point.
like?
What was that?
I was gonna say, can I give you an example of what it feels like?
What you got?
It's like it's like running over a nail with your tire in your car
Yeah.
and then taking a bat to your windshield because you ran over a nail.
Yeah.
What do you gain?
Nothing.
Would you not try to think of like how can I fix this?
Yeah.
How can I recover from this? What can I learn from this? And this is where like these type of situations, this is where we get the life lessons that we're going to discuss. And honestly, I'll say this, if the Brewers lose tonight, I look forward to the discussions that we're going to have. Because we're going to be in a situation where we thought people were negative last night. If they get swept, it's going to be worse. And we will have more bulletin board material to discuss on why people just need to actually like have some, like I mentioned before, emotional intelligence.
So, for one, you will have a little bit more reasoning to be upset losing 2 games at home. I can understand that to a point.
Right.
But the things that you say and the way that you say them are what's going to matter to me.
Yep.
No reason to go out there and say, F this guy, F this guy, F this guy, fire this guy, get rid of this guy. You're not in charge. And thank God most of you aren't in charge.
Yeah.
So that's really what I'm going to be looking for. And if they win, it'll be crickets, and it'll be a beautiful night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. What I will say is that the only way that I would have been upset is if they had left Freddie Peralta as the game 3, if necessary, starter
I agree.
and not moved him to today, which they did. They announced it right after the game last night that Freddie Peralta was going to start tonight. There's no scenario in which you're facing elimination and you don't start Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's good. That's a good start already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I want to get to a point is we discussed this last Monday a little bit when we had Vinny Rotino on where the Brewers draw the line of what's a successful season this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is they've already exceeded our expectations, despite long-term injuries to Brandon Woodruff and Garrett Mitchell. They won 92 games. That's more than we projected this season. So that's already, exceeded the expectations there. Now, by saying that, that does not mean that we are happy just making the playoffs. The Brewers have made the playoffs in 5 of 6 seasons. That's the most competitive they've been in their franchise history. Like I said, how many times have we discussed the fact that we talk about the 1982 World Series team like they won it just from being there?
Mm-hmm.
But don't give the same credit to any of Craig Counsell's teams, despite 2018 being one game away, and then 2019, 2020, and 2021 losing to the eventual World Series champion.
And to be completely honest with you, the Diamondbacks are a team, like the teams mentioned before, that could absolutely get on fire and go win the whole damn thing.
Sure.
They have the talent. They have some star pitching. They have some good guys in the bullpen. They have a manager with some experience. I mean, seriously, they literally have all the formula. It's not like we're playing like a shitty team. You know what I mean?
Right. It's literally a playoff team.
The Diamondbacks were one of the best teams in the first half of baseball.
True.
They went on a little slide, and now they're kind of starting to get it back together again. They got hot right before the playoffs. They got hot right at a good time. So They're playing good baseball. It's a shitty pull for the Brewers, but just like they always do, just like they've done this entire season, they're going to put their big boy pants on. They're going to go figure it out because that's what adults do.
Yeah. And like I said, it doesn't mean that we're settling for the playoffs.
Right.
We want them to win a World Series. But unfortunately, and this is going to sound like a cop-out or an excuse, but unfortunately the Brewers kind of have the odds stacked against them a little bit as far as payroll and things of that nature are concerned.
Yeah.
Because they're in the smallest television market and they don't have a giant payroll to work with. Now, on the flip side of that, what I'm really excited for is the fact that the Brewers have gotten contributions from tons of rookies this year. Yeah. There are 5 rookie batters on the playoff roster.
That's crazy, actually.
And there's 2 more in the bullpen. 7 rookies out of 26 players on the Brewers' first-round playoff roster.
Damn. I like it.
And people are acting like the window is closing.
Yeah.
And I get that Burns, Woodruff, and Peralta, or no, not Peralta. Burns, Woodruff, and Adames are free agents after next season. Not this winter. Next winter of 2024 is when they are free agents. People are acting like this is the Brewers' last chance. As if we don't already have a bunch of rookies making contributions. As if we don't have the second-rated farm system in all of baseball. The Brewers aren't going away. If the Brewers don't do it this year, they're not just going away. And if you want to talk about pitching, even if the Brewers were to trade Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff, there are guys like Robert Gosser and Jacob Mizorowski ready to come up. I'm not saying those guys are going to be Major League ready day one, but these guys are highly regarded prospects for a reason. And I spent way too much time today arguing with somebody who was crying about the Brewers not spending money.
Yeah.
Trading Hunter Renfroe, trading Colton Wong was to make room for Bryce Terang at second base and all of the outfield talent we have, with more coming.
Yeah, our outfield is absolutely stacked.
It's insane how many outfield prospects we have.
Yeah. Like we could flip, and this is gonna sound crazy, but like we could flip a Joey Weimer, who we all love. Like I'm not saying that we should do it.
Right.
I'm just saying we could trade a guy like a Joey Weimer, a guy that MLB team saw has very good defense. He has good raw power. He's a guy that you can come and get some pitching prospects for if we do end up trading a guy like a Woody or a Burns. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Very easily they could do that, I think.
I agree with you. Everybody knows about Jackson Churio, but the Brewers also have a guy in their system. His name is Luis Lara. He's another guy to keep an eye on. Like there are good things still to come for the Brewers if they don't win it all in 2023. Obviously, we would prefer them to do it now because we are in the now.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world here. Not even the fact that we aren't even eliminated yet. So, like I said, we will have more conversations. Maybe next week we're talking about an NLDS appearance, and we're recapping some Brewers-Dodgers games, which if the Brewers win today and tomorrow, Jake and I will probably do some short form video between this series ending and the next one beginning, should the Brewers advance that far.
Yep.
So we will have our thoughts out before that series starts if the Brewers make it there. We're hoping they make it there. We will find the ways that they can do it. That's how we operate. As far as today goes, I just pulled this up. It just came on to X, but it's a 2-minute interview with Nyjer Morgan because he's throwing out tonight's first pitch. So I'm gonna play it and we're gonna listen to it.
All right, bet.
The memories, it's words really don't explain just the feeling it feels to be back in Milwaukee. You know, all the love that I'm getting from the fans, all the love I'm getting from you guys. It's just everything is amazing, and I'm very thankful just to be back and just be in this position.
How often do you think about that moment?
All the time. Now that I have a chance to let it like settle down and simmer, and now I understand like what it really meant. It's still to this magnitude. It really hasn't hit me all the way, but there's certain things where, you know, I'll catch myself going back to, 2011 when, I made it happen.
So much happened.
Damn, I feel old.
Whatever, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. What do you like? What's the one thing that you always remember about?
The more is just the hit going up the field and the roar of the crowd. The roar of the crowd basically told me everything, and from hearing it, I still hear it to this day in my sleep. And when I'm just thinking about it, just that moment was it was an amazing, awesome experience.
I saw the replay again last night.
Yeah.
So Putes is on the mound.
Yeah.
Tickle it. As he
Right up the box.
Did you think there was any chance that Putes was going to kick that one? He came.
Well, no, I'm not. I squared it up. I barreled it. That's the best. It came, with the velocity now. Nobody had the velocity back then. So I get it about a 107 off the bat.
107?
Yeah, the velocity was there. So, I don't think he could have kick saved with a beauty.
Now, you played for a lot of franchises in your career. I would assume that this one is the most.
This feels home. Yeah, this really feels home. I feel like I came up in this organization, even though I came up with the Pirates. Yeah. But besides that, this is home. And, even though I have my only year and a half, 2 years here, but besides that, I made a lasting impression on everybody, and everybody's made a lasting impression on me. And that means everything in the world, just to be in this position and to be loved by so many different people.
Damn, I love that, bro.
How as a Brewers fan, do you watch that and still want to be just a person who just goes straight to negativity?
Because that's, like he said, the Brewers are home. that's home for a lot of people, is just to be negative, and that's a sad thing to say, but it's real.
I can't fathom watching that, seeing a former player describe how happy he was to be here because of how the fan base made him feel.
And then people want to think that they're just saying stuff on Twitter or X or Facebook or anything like that, right? Like, you're not just saying stuff. Like, some of these guys, most of these guys see this stuff, man, and that affects people that want to come here and play here and re-sign here, like a Corbin Burns. Like, listen, man, I'm gonna be real. I was talking to my baseball guy today. Shout out Keith. What's going on, buddy? I know you're gonna watch this later, so you'll hear your name. I always tell him at work that I call him my baseball guy. And I was like, I don't know if I should say your name, bro. Like, I don't know if you're like that. But he said, oh, I don't care. You can say my name. But shout out to my guy, Keith. And we were actually talking about it because I was upset. I mean, I wasn't as vocal about it as you were today, but I was pretty pissed off about how people were talking last night. And it was the first thing that I saw when I woke up. The last thing I saw when I went to bed last night. So it was in my thoughts. And I was talking with him about Corbin Burns maybe leaving, the likelihood of maybe this really killing Brandon Woodruff's career. Like, he was up for a big contract, so that's really shitty timing for him. On top of, just us being in the position we were in and having the pitching and the defense was really the identity of our team, right? So,
Yep.
We were talking about Burns, and I was like, think about fans talking shit, right? And you're in Milwaukee, you're in a tiny market, and you could have fans talk shit about you in New York, and you can make your $15 million, and you can move on with your life because you're setting your kids up now. You're setting your family up for generations with that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Milwaukee and the thing about Wisconsin in general is the reason that everybody loves the Green Bay Packers is because it has a college atmosphere, right? We love our team. We're passionate about our team. We could do that for all of our teams. We could do that for the Brewers. We could do that for the Bucks. And I know that a lot of people do that for the Badgers. A lot of boosters and former, their alma mater, they love the Badgers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to take a pay cut and you're going to play for a team that you came up with and that you love, you got to have that love from the fan base as well. So it's a really, really fine line that people are really riding. And honestly, it's just, I'm disgusted by it, honestly. And then I'm going to go back to my rant that I said. I don't understand where people's competitive fire went away. But God, the world has gotten so soft that it's leaking into fandom.
And that's the thing, is that people will vehemently defend their right to criticize as competitive fire. It's not. That's not competitive fire. That's pessimism, is what it is. Competitive fire would be get them tomorrow. That's the kind of thing that competitive fire is okay, we have another game to play. Yesterday's game is over. We need to win today's game.
Yep.
Finding how to win today's game. That's competitive fire. Saying that my favorite Jesse Winker moment is going to be when he's released and not on this team anymore, that's not competitive fire. That's blatant pessimism. Honestly, I hope we get into a situation where Jesse Winker hits a fucking walk-off home run tonight.
Bro.
Could you imagine?
You want to talk about an emotional 180, bro? Oh, wow.
That's when sports offers shit like that all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not even just once in a while. Like, it happens a lot.
It does. A lot more than people realize.
The Minnesota Twins just snapped a 19-game playoff losing streak last night.
Bro, imagine being a Minnesota fan.
No thanks.
You Wisconsin fans of Wisconsin teams think that we have it bad, bro. Talk about being the little brother all the time. In literally every league.
Chicago's the same thing.
What's up, buddy? I tell these fans relax. This series for a reason. Something tells me Willie is gonna do 12K tonight. Ooh!
I'm assuming he means Freddie.
He does. He does that for me. He does that for me. I appreciate it. When he says Willie, it's because I always mess up and call him Willie Peralta when he means Freddie Peralta. So he's going for a 12K Freddie Peralta game.
Dude, I'm here for it. And if the Brewers win, we're not going to declare the series over that the Brewers are winning it.
Nope. We're
winning today. That's what we're focused on, is winning today. Tomorrow we'll be focused on winning tomorrow.
And what do you think that they're saying in the locker room right now, or the clubhouse? Sorry, what do you think they're saying in the clubhouse? Win today.
One game.
Yep. Let's win today, and worry about these 9 innings or how many ever innings it takes. It could take 12, could take 19. I don't freaking know. That's baseball, bro.
Yeah.
The game could be over after 3 innings, dude.
The
Brewers could go nuts, just like they did in Miami, and score 12 runs in 3 innings, and we could coast the rest of the way. We don't know.
Right. That's why they play the games.
Yeah, man.
And that's my thing, is like, oh, the Brewers aren't going to do anything against Zach Gallen and Kirby. If you know that, then why watch?
Yeah.
If you're predicting the outcomes, why watch? Why not go bet on the games if you know so well? And just become a millionaire because you know the outcomes.
Yeah, why are you rich? Why are you wasting your time on Facebook crying every day?
Easier. That's why.
True that.
Okay. So the what's next section is very easy, very short to go over because they have today. They need today. Yep. If they don't win today, they're done. If they win today, they have tomorrow. And if they win today and tomorrow, we will talk before the NLDS starts. Brett's kind of echoing the same thing. One game at a time, back against the wall. Kind of remind me when the Bucks were down 0-2 against the Suns and Middleton and Holiday laughing at the press game. We got this. Gallen also has a 4+ ERA on the road, and Peralta is 0.55 against the Diamondbacks. You got that from our page. I know you did, Brett. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons why the Brewers could win tonight. The Brewers could just, even let's say Zach Gallen doesn't give up a run to the Brewers, there's ways they can still beat the Diamondbacks. They could force Zach Gallen to throw 100 pitches in 5 innings.
Never know. They used a lot of bullpen guys last night too, just like the Brewers. And Brewers fans were crying, "Oh yeah, let's get rid of the whole bullpen." Dude, it's a 3-game series, you dingus.
Right. They're going to use everybody. And Devin Williams made the comment when somebody asked him that it's going to be up to counsel if he's able to pitch again tonight. If the Brewers are in a 1-run game in the 9th inning, Devin Williams is pitching.
You want to know what's hilarious that I just thought of? They bitch about who he uses from the bullpen. Like, don't use him, save him. But then they bitch about him putting in Winker. We're going to use everybody. It's the damn playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Brett said breaking news sources via the best guys with Skill Fanatics. Hey, that's what we're here for, man.
Hey.
And that's the thing is, like, it's not hard if you actually look at why they use Jesse Winker. We posted the statistics. Honestly, it wasn't hard to find the statistics. It took me 10 minutes to go and find out why Jesse Winker made the postseason roster. And they used him in a situation where he had been successful. So, I mean, and again, even if you want to hang it on Jesse Winker striking out in that at-bat, that was 3% of the at-bats last night. Less than 3% of the at-bats last night.
Listen, we're talking about all the good things from the Brewers, right? They got 12 hits. They got 4 walks. They had a lot of people on base.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that was the one negative that they can't do is striking out 11 times. Me and you have talked about it, I don't even know, 1 million times now in the last couple of years. They cut down the strikeouts. They put the ball in play in those situations. Things happen, man. I mean, yesterday, a crazy play with the ball bouncing, and Yelich had a close play at second base. I mean, that kind of stuff happens all the time. Who says that the ball doesn't bounce away from Evan Longoria, and then he tries to pick it up and make a throw, and he throws it over a second baseman? Like, that's the weird stuff that happens in baseball. So you got to just put the ball in play. Don't strike out as much. We'll be fine.
I'll say we had a conversation about that play. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. I'm sorry, so I can't say if what I thought I was thinking at the time last night is valid. But the other thing is I don't know if there was somebody covering third base. If not, and that throw goes, Yelich is going to third base. And then the tying run is 90 feet away with 1 out.
To be honest with you, and they said it on the broadcast, him making that throw to second base was just instincts. And he's a guy that's played a million innings in his life.
That's true.
He's been pretty damn good at it. Like, let's not
Yeah.
kid ourselves. He's been good for a long time. He came into the MLB, was good. In the middle of his career, was good. He was just getting banged up and injured. And he's still a good player. I know he's 100 years old at this point, but he's
the
still
same age as Josh Donaldson.
He's still got a lot of value, man. I mean, he's a guy that's been there, done that.
Carlos Santana.
Yeah, been there, done that. Locker room guy. I mean, Evan Longoria is still a good player, so people freaking out about Evan Longoria. I mean, he made some crazy plays last night.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
And like you said, striking out at with guys on base, that's just one of those things that it just can't happen. Bryce Durang had it happen to him, and this is going to be a learning moment for him. So if there's something positive to take away from it, it's going to be Bryce Durang is learning from that moment by getting playoff experience. And we just talked about this, and I know for a fact that we talked about this last Wednesday with the Bucks because I listened to the show again. Is Jake brought up that our young players on the Bucks are going to get playoff experience this year. The young Bucks on the Brewers are getting playoff experience. Bryce Durang and Joey Wiemer and Sal Frelick and Blake Perkins, guys, those guys are getting playoff experience. They're getting to know what a playoff environment is like. Brett said, I just don't get why these fans are hard on Craig. Why did we take Winker in? It's because Craig wanted to change it up. And if he would hit a home run, these fans would have praised Craig. Instead, he strikes out and people are like, fire him. I think we got this. So many contact hits in that. Just erase the minor mental mistakes. We win it. That was a beautiful play in the fifth by Evan Longoria, which should have been a single or double. I swear he always kills us. And that's the thing. Like Jake said, Evan Longoria is a great baseball player. He has been for 15 years.
Yeah, he's been good for a long time. Like I remember him on the Rays, dude.
He was a monster on the Rays.
Yeah, he was. He was a stud. One of the best players in baseball on the Rays.
For sure. And the thing is like we're getting playoff experience, and the thing is with having a guy like Jesse Winker, it's if the Brewers just don't have the depth, then there's nothing wrong with that. The Brewers are in the playoffs. If they lose to the Diamondbacks, they're losing to a playoff team.
Yeah.
They're not losing a playoff game to the Oakland A's, who they should beat.
Agreed.
They lost to a playoff team last night. And Rowdy Tellez, I'm sorry, is not a better option. And Garrett Mitchell, from what I've read, hasn't been cleared 100% for head first sliding yet.
I do think Mitchell would have gave a better at bat. I'm not going to lie to you. He's got a quicker bat. That's the only reason I say that. But if he's not cleared, I'm not willing to mortgage his future for an at bat in fucking game one of the 2023 wild card series versus Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, is that really that hard for people to understand?
Apparently
risk your life for me, even though I'm going to talk shit about you if you suck. Like, come on.
So first of all, Garrett Mitchell is also a rookie. So you have a choice between a rookie who's missed 6 months of the season and a veteran who's missed about 4 months of the season and has succeeded in situational baseball. Like you just take the names out of it. Like which guy are you picking in that situation? Mm-hmm. And then you factor in the health of Garrett Mitchell, which going forward is far more important, I'll say, than even winning the series.
Tyler, when we thought about young guys, right, on Monday night, which if you haven't listened, that was a absolutely great episode. About 27 minutes, you'd say, right? Was that like 27 minutes? 40 minutes?
With Vinny?
35. Yeah, with Vinny.
That was like 45.
It was like a half an hour, 45 minutes. But go listen to that. We had some really good stuff on there. We gave our Brewer season awards. But when we talked about all the young guys, and we love all the young guys for certain criteria, and the thing that we brought up about Mitchell is he's a 5-tool guy. So really, we're not risking 5 tools for 1 AB. That's simple math, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's 100. That's.
I just turned into a fucking rapper right there, dude.
Brett said I was listening to Bill Michael, and he was bashing Craig for putting Winker in, and he's like, "I'll pick Rowdy all day." You'll say that because you have the benefit of hindsight, knowing that Winker struck out.
The one person on this team that might have a slower bat speed than Jesse Winker is Rowdy Tellez. And Jesse Winker was way behind those fastballs last night.
And what I'll say is, regardless of bat speed, injury, batting average, whatever it is, Jesse Winker has a better plate discipline than Rowdy Tellez.
100%.
So he has a better chance of drawing a walk. And that's why Joey Wiemer is on the playoff roster over Garrett Mitchell. Because what I can tell you this right now, if we get into another scenario where there's nobody out to start off anything after the 7th inning, you'll probably see Jesse Winker again tonight. And the thing is,
if it's a left-handed pitcher, you actually might see Wiemer. I wouldn't be shocked at that. He's much better against lefties.
I'll say you'd probably see Monasterio or Owen Miller first, but I don't disagree that there's an opportunity for it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, is if you see Jesse Winker versus a right-handed relief pitcher tonight and he gets on base, Joey Wiemer is instantly coming in to run the bases for him.
Yep.
They have those two players on that roster for that reason, for Jesse Winker to get on base and Joey Wiemer to run the bases.
Yep, 100%.
That is why those two are on the roster.
100%.
And then as far as second base, say he comes in for Bryce Durang, then you put in Andre Monasterio like they did last night, or you can put in Owen Miller if he has him pinch hit for, say, a Tyrone Taylor. And then you can put Joey Wiemer into center field and move Sal Frelick to right, or you can put Marcana into right. Like, there's plenty of options. Brett said, I bet, and book it, guys. Willie Peralta, Freddie Peralta, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 12 Ks with the W. It'll be a solo home run if he gives up 1 earned run. I would bet money on that. He
always gives up one solo shot every game.
He does. Like, his last 5 starts, it's just one solo shot, and then he just settles in.
Yeah.
It'll be the top of the first inning, too. It'll be fucking Corbin Carroll leading off with a solo home run, and then he'll pitch 7 scoreless after that.
Yep, probably.
All right. Like I said, regardless of what happens, we'll be back talking about the Brewers. This is not going to be the last time we talk about the Brewers in October, regardless of what the outcome is. And then we'll talk about them probably again in December before winter meetings start. And we're looking at and have gotten willingness from Javik Blake. I don't know if it's Javik or Javik. He is the play-by-play announcer for the Biloxi Shuckers to come on the show with us, and I'm really excited about that because he's going to be able to tell us a lot about guys like Jackson Chourio and Tyler Black.
Hell yeah, boy.
Brett said, hey, no matter what, the Cubs L flag is flying. The entire Chicago sports fandom L flag is flying.
Yeah.
And we can bring in Mike as we transition to this because Illinois is also currently in shambles.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
I didn't think
it'd be to this extent, but I was dead wrong about them.
So was a lot of people. And then we have the news that happened with Northwestern, and they're terrible. So
but they're actually competing. Yeah, Illinois is just like
they're playing hard. I'll give them that.
The guys that they lost to the draft on defense are affecting them way more than we thought they would.
Yeah, it's bad.
But I mean, Illinois, shambles. Cubs, shambles. Bears, shambles. Blackhawks, even. They had the number 1 pick last year because they were terrible. So, they have a number 1 pick on their team, but there's not a lot of things coming up Chicago right now.
Dude, and the Bulls. The Bulls missed the play-in last year. And then what the hell they do in the offseason? Oh, they're getting their cap ready to sign Giannis Antetokounmpo, who then at media day says, I'm going to stay a buck as long as we win. I want to be a buck for life.
And he said it
shambles.
And it does. And he said it doesn't make sense for me to sign it this year for a lot of money when I can sign next year for a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, like
literally what he said.
Dude.
I think I'd almost stop watching sports if I was living in Illinois, man. I don't know if I could take it. I don't know.
That's what it is. I mean, the Bears, they had a 28-7 lead and lost 31-28.
Did you see the latest on Matt Eberflus, by the way?
No.
So, Peter King said that if the Bears lose, or he said, dare I say, get blown out, I would not be shocked if the Bears fire Matt Eberflus.
That would be hilarious.
Who'd be their head coach?
Wow.
Who'd be their head coach? Luke Getzky.
Yeah.
Bears head coach Luke Getsky. Are you serious right now?
That'd be funny.
Oh my God. I think I would cry laughing. I would legit cry laughing.
So just real quick on last minute baseball news, the Tampa Bay Rays have been eliminated from the playoffs.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
So record does not mean a goddamn thing.
Oh hell no. You're in the playoffs, it's a whole new year, man.
Yeah.
Records are 0-0.
Brett said the chances of the Bulls getting Giannis is like Lonzo Ball playing again. No, it's less than that. Lonzo,
I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't kick a man when he's down.
Yeah,
I feel
Lonzo's
bad for
going to play
Lonzo.
again. It's not going to be this year, but he's going to play again.
I feel
Giannis
bad
is
for
literally
Lonzo.
never going to the Bulls.
And you want to know, I actually like Lonzo, man.
He's good. He's humble.
the one that had to deal with all his dad's bullshit too.
Yeah,
and
he's a humble guy.
Yeah, Lonzo's actually a cool guy, man. I mess with Lonzo. I wouldn't mind him on the Bucks, man, because he's going to be all banged up and stuff. He'd be a great backup point guard for the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, I mean, the Bulls, they just had to watch. They're like, oh, we stole Javon Carter from you. Javon Carter's from Chicago. Like, he's happier to be there because he's from there. So good for Javon Carter.
I mean,
and then the Bulls had to watch the Bucks trade for fucking Damian Lillard.
Oh, man. Like, in the same year that we lose, year we lose Aaron Rodgers, dude, we gain Damian Lillard. Like, life is fine now. Life is fine. Oh, man.
All right. Let's transition. Let's move from baseball to football. Badgers versus Rutgers. We don't have a recap this week because the Badgers were on bye. Now they're coming into their homecoming game against Rutgers. This game is going to be on Peacock, which, here we go. A lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, there's going to be games on Peacock. You might as well just subscribe and get Peacock now. It's what, $6.99 a month? And
I don't want to pay $5.
There's going to be 5 Badger basketball games on Peacock.
Exactly. Because we better get used to it. And even on top of that, some of our biggest games for basketball are on Peacock. You see who we play on Peacock?
Michigan State, I think.
Indiana, Maryland. I'm missing one more big one yet. But those three right there, those are Michigan State. We got Michigan State on Peacock too. That's 4. Those are big-time games against big-time programs. So, yeah, you better start to subscribe now. Just rip it off, rip the Band-Aid off.
Dude, that's what I was saying, right? And I was getting called an asshole and all this other stuff by all these freaking 900-year-old grandmas and grandpas because they're like, I don't want to pay $5.99. Why should I have to do that? That's the goddamn world we live in with technology, you old SOB. Like, just deal with it. We're not living in freaking 1920 anymore. It's 2023. There's all these streaming services.
The thing, especially with college, you want these things to happen because that means that money is going into the college programs.
Yep. And I was just going to say, it's only going to get worse with NILs.
Right.
Colleges are going to be pushing to go on other networks where the money's flowing, right?
Right. So we want this to happen. We want money to be going into the programs. We want media outlets to be interested in purchasing the rights to stream games that our teams are going to play on because it means money for the programs. So this is a bigger deal than you having to pay $6 a month to watch Peacock, not to mention you get everything else that's already on there.
And you know, unpopular opinion, when I watched the Brewers on Peacock, I actually really, really enjoyed that broadcast.
Did you? Was it pretty cool? I haven't used it yet.
Not the Brewer, not on Peacock.
I thought it was fantastic.
Broadcast too.
Yeah, the Apple Plus. That was awesome.
I don't mind them when they're on YouTube either.
I liked who the heck was it? Oh, I actually thoroughly enjoy the Amazon Prime Thursday Night Footballs now. They got that next gen stuff going on right now. That shit is awesome, dude.
There's hope for us with that too. Us being not Wisconsin sports fans, but us being Wisco fanatics, is that as these outlets continue to get more and more specific on what people want to watch, there's going to be conversations about content creators being the ones that can do the voiceovers for these games and where streaming is going to be allowed. That's something that's not, it's not immediately coming, but it's in the back of the minds of media.
It's trending. I agree.
A better version of what Peyton and Eli do on Monday Night Football.
Exactly. But like if you wanted to watch like Matt Ramage does watch parties. Like Matt Ramage is a guy like he'd be fun to watch a football game with.
Absolutely.
If let's just say people watching us, if you would think that we are fun to watch a college football game with, that's something that maybe in the future could be possible by stuff like this being on Peacock and things like that.
I would love to do that kind of stuff, but people are going to see a whole different animal.
Yeah.
You got to be able to ride the emotional wave. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Brett said, Jake, I wanted to drive my horse to Pfizer for him.
Giddy up.
James,
I don't know where you're going to park.
What's up, guys? We got Drew. I'm happier now. Yeah, James, getting Drew is cool, but being able to defend the rim is cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I love Drew. I'm not trying to talk shit. Still love Drew Holiday. Still a hell of a player. Still the best step back. Still a great on-ball defender. But at the end of the day, our best player is not a point guard. Our best player is now a 7 foot. He's listed as 7 foot now. 254-pound monster. And you traded away. You traded away one of the humans in the NBA that actually scares me a little bit guarding him. There's not a lot of people that I think about that I'm like, all right, him going to the rim, that guy has a chance. Robert, Time Lord has a chance. He doesn't have a great chance because Giannis can dunk on the entire league at one time if he wants to. But let's be honest, you got worse.
Bam Adebayo is the only guy in the Eastern Conference that I'm worried about with Giannis.
Dude, they are asking a whole lot. And I said this to you how many times?
Yep.
They are asking a whole lot out of a 37-year-old Al Horford.
Yeah.
He is kicking closer and closer. And Father Time is undefeated, apparently against everybody but LeBron James, because that guy's definitely on steroids, and I still love LeBron. But there's no way, dude. But that's a conversation for a different day. He's 37, getting closer and closer to retirement. Giannis is getting closer and closer to his peak. He's not even at his fucking peak yet, dude. That's how stupid good he is. Like, you're fucked. I'm sorry. You can enjoy Drew Holiday. It's going to be awesome for you. You're going to have a lot of great moments. He's going to throw some lobs, to Brown and to Tatum. It's going to be a lot of fun in the regular season. But in the playoffs, when shit gets real and you have to guard that pick and roll and Drew can't switch on to Giannis, I'm sorry. You're toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the X's and O's.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to our Bucks primer. That's going to be a good time, which is coming up. It's going to be Jake and I are actually going to do our Bucks primer on a Monday. We're going to do that as a special Monday afternoon episode. We're going to do that on its own.
Okay.
I'm a Bush guy.
Jake seems like a Bush guy. Tyler seems like a Leinenkugel guy. I'd love to watch a game with you guys. Toss you guys any drink you drink. The guest seems like a spotted cow guy. Mike, are you a spotted cow guy?
Oh, of course.
Listen. If you're from Wisconsin, you're always a spotted cow guy.
Yeah,
this is what I drink.
There's debate though. I think spotted cow, and I forget what the other one's called, but there's a little bit of a debate now. Moon Man, I think that's one of the other popular ones as well. But no, I'm a spotted cow guy out of the two, no doubt.
I'm from Wisconsin. I don't drink any beers.
I drink like once a year, so I'm not a big drinker either. Because I'm already a psychopath when I watch sports, so I don't need to be a psychopath when I'm not watching sports.
I have a caffeine problem, so I'll just be over here sipping my Sam's Cola. If you don't believe me that I'm like literally a caffeine person, I have it tattooed on my wrist.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Tyler, dude, Tyler was the one. Tyler, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Now I'm going down memory lane. You gave me caffeine pills, dude, in high school. Remember
that was college. I was in college when we did that.
Oh, okay, that was college. You're right. But I was like, what is this, bro?
We're pulling all-nighters. That's what we're here for.
I've been sober for 7 years now.
For 7 years. That's awesome. Good for you, Tim.
Hell yeah, Tim.
All right.
Proud of you, man.
Let's talk some college football. Badgers versus Rutgers. Mike, what are you looking for from the Badgers offense against Rutgers defense?
I would say, first off, it's going to be interesting how we address the run game. Rutgers, They actually got they're 10th in the nation in team defense, and they're pretty well balanced. 4th in the Big Ten in pass defense, 4th in the Big Ten in rush defense. So top tier or top half
Top
or whatever on both ends. They're very, very consistent. Both sides of the ball. I'll get to the other part later. But I'm looking forward to seeing how we're going to address our running game, because I still think that has to be a part of what we're about. Obviously, Braylon can't get all the carries. I'm just looking forward to seeing what the combination between what Jackson Aker and Cade Yakimelli can do. Jackson Aker is more so like a Braylon, to my understanding, based off of what the coaches say, the media says, and whatnot. And Cade Yakimelli sounds like he's going to be more so that third down back, I would say, not necessarily like shifty like Ches by any means, but I think he's going to be possibly filling that role. So we still need to establish a run, I feel like, at the end of the day. But I mean, Rutgers, they have a stud linebacker, Tyreen Powell. He's not a Hunter Wooler by any means, but the guy's got 38 total tackles, and he's a ball hawk as well. And he had a sack against Michigan. Then Aaron Lewis was the other guy. He's got 4 sacks for Rutgers this year, or 3, sorry, that we definitely need to watch out for. So I would say at Rutgers, these guys don't really make mistakes. They're pretty consistent in what they do. They don't. Ooh, one more stat. They are number 1, and we talked about tackling. They are number 1 in the country, Power 5 schools, for the lowest missed tackle rate.
Oh, wow.
Lowest missed
tackle
rate.
I would love to be in that position with any of our football teams.
Correct. So that was something I really wanted to get on this podcast. But no, they seem to not make many mistakes. I mean, these guys were only trailing Michigan 7-17 in the fourth quarter when they were playing them. And then they gave up 2 touchdowns. So I think this is going to be a tough game. I think it's going to, we cannot, take these guys lightly at all. Both sides of the ball.
I'm here to take Rutgers lightly.
Okay, that's fine.
So they've played Michigan, which is fine. They've also played Northwestern, Temple, Virginia Tech, and Wagner.
Yeah, hold on for a sec, because I wanted to say this. How far has Virginia Tech fallen?
Yeah, they got their butts kicked by Rutgers. Purdue, I think, was the other one.
Yeah.
They played Northwestern as well. They might have played 2 or 3 Big Ten teams, but no, they got whacked.
I mean, still a crazy, running out of the tunnel moment for them. That's one of the best in the nation. But they suck.
Yeah.
They're about to get waxed by Florida State, by the way, on Saturday.
You think Virginia Tech, it's like Michael Vick, maybe. I can't really think of too many people after that, but
they've had some wide receivers come out of there, I think.
I mean, when we were all younger, I just remember Virginia Tech being one of those teams that was always hovering around the top 25, and it was a tough place to play at night. They were a good team. They were a school. They were a low key powerhouse. You know what I mean? They were always consistently good, always making bowl games. Now you forget about them, really. Virginia's kind of the better team.
Yeah.
At least lately.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor.
That's right. Damn. And Marcus Vick, Michael Vick's little brother. He was QB.
He was trash, though. He was trash. Let's be honest. He was famous because he had Vick on his back, bro.
Dwayne Brown.
They were still winning, though, in his era, I feel like.
Yeah, but he was garbage. I'm not even he was garbage. Sorry.
Come on.
D'Angelo Hall, Antonio Freeman. Obviously.
Oh, damn, D'Angelo Hall. D'Angelo Hall's a good pull. That's a good pull.
I didn't pull that from me. I literally looked it up.
I know, but I love D'Angelo Hall. I used to love him. He was one of my favorite non-Packers for a while because he was just good. Didn't get much love.
I'm gonna pull up their football schedule to see who they've played. Virginia Tech. Okay, so Virginia Tech so far this year beat Old Dominion. They lost to Purdue, got smoked by Rutgers. They literally lost to Marshall. And then they beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh sucks too.
Yeah.
Not to even get more off topic,
but really a resume builder for you. And I looked it up, looking at strength of schedule. Rutgers is 85.
Oh.
What
Wisconsin
are we?
is 37
This year.
Yeah,
this year.
that's respectable.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Jake, I'll let you go next. What are you looking for from the Badgers offense against Rutgers?
Oh, so Mike's a bastard.
Sorry.
I'm only saying that because
stop letting our guests go first.
because
you guys can go first next.
No, it's fine. Tyler, me and you got called bastards earlier. That's the only reason. So I wanted to include Mike.
That's true. That did happen.
No, I literally wrote down, and you were almost taking the words right out of my mouth. I was like, they were very well coached. You look at both sides of the ball; they control the line of scrimmage. They can run the ball very good, and they stop the run very good. That is a sign of good coaching, in my opinion. They're a pretty veteran team when you consider the receiving, and I know that we're not on their offense yet, but when I was looking at their offense, I was like, holy shit, dude, they're kind of like well-rounded on this side of the ball. But with their defense, we got to control the line of scrimmage. We got to run the ball. The Rutgers only give up 98.6 rushing yards per game, which is actually pretty insane. And
Yes.
the Badgers offense, like I've said 100 million times, I'll say it 100 million more times, still predicated on the run. Everything gets set up by the run, the play action, all of that. When you run the ball and you get a 14-yard gain, and then you go tempo and you hit somebody with a deep shot, you put them on their heels and you start smacking them in the mouth a little bit. We have to establish the run. And they also have 13 sacks as a team. So that's actually a pretty good average when you average it out over 4 games or 5 games now. It's still a pretty damn good average. So they get after the quarterback. We have to keep Tanner Mordecai upright, which we have struggled with at times during this season. So that was definitely noteworthy, and running the ball. So those are the 2 things: control the line of scrimmage, keep Mordecai upright, and establish that physicality in the run game.
First of all, Brett, no, you're not. Second of all, the Badgers are 32nd in the NCAA in points per game at 33.3. Rutgers is 19th in points allowed. Again, I'm going to say that this skews a little bit based on the quality of teams they've played.
Mm-hmm.
The Badgers, actually, I'm going to save this one for my key to the game. Actually, I'm going to save this stat. The Badgers are 36th in yards per game, which it's not terrible. It's respectable. But the main thing, and this kind of goes with offense and defense, is the Badgers are 81st in college football in penalties per game.
Oh,
that has to change. That's
yeah.
not like this is something they can improve. That's a has to, not a want to, not a need to. That is a has to change.
Agreed.
They cannot be committing that many penalties.
No.
Yeah, my other offensive stat I'll save until I get to my key to the game. But Mike, what are you looking for on the Badgers on defense against Rutgers offense?
You know, this offense really, they are from the shotgun mostly, but in terms of like what they like to try to do, this is very similar to what Badger offense used to be. These guys, they love to run the ball and they love to take time off the clock. It's kind of like a dual threat monster, I would say, between their quarterback and their running back. Gavin Wimsatt, only 1 turnover through 5 games, so he takes care of the ball. The running back Kyle Manangai, I don't know how to pronounce that. He's third in the Big Ten with 471 yards rushing. So combination with those 2 guys, because Wimsatt does run the ball, but he has shown that he can throw it. He threw for 180 yards against Michigan, so that's definitely something that's noteworthy. But I think mainly, these guys, Rutgers is 3rd in rushing offense. So it's right behind Wisconsin and right behind Nebraska. So, and I guess they don't pass as much, but the offensive line, they've only given up two sacks all year. I know Jake kind of touched base on like the line of scrimmage. These guys, again, they don't make mistakes. They take care of the ball with who they've played and, all their possessions and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to us hopefully still causing some turnovers on defense. I'm actually looking forward to the linebackers, because Rutgers doesn't necessarily spread out nearly as much as what basically every game that we've been playing in this year. So I think based off of what our linebackers have been used to in years past and the type of defense and and whatnot. I think this is going to be more predicated to them to have a big day in this game because Rutgers again wants to run the ball, kind of similar to Wisconsin. We want to run the ball at the end of the day. So I'm looking forward to one specific guy that I'll get to later, but the linebacking core specifically is what I'm watching.
Yeah. To your point on that, the Badgers going back to 2 weeks ago when the Badgers played, Luke Fickell, when asked about Muma Jongmeta, did say that they were looking to get Jake Chaney and Jordan Turner more reps against a coverage offense. And that's why Muma didn't play as much. So, Mike, to your point about them being less of a pass-heavy team, I do think that means we'll see a lot more in Jongmeta this week.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
I'll end it at that before I get too far. But, Jake, what are you looking for from the Badgers defense?
So, like Mike said, they don't throw the ball a ton, but their top 3 options, their top 3 wide receivers are all seniors. Christian Dremel, he controls the slot. He's kind of their top guy. They have 3 wide receivers with 10 catches. He's the only one of those 3 that has touchdowns. He has 3 receiving touchdowns, 14 catches, 195 yards. I just want to comment on something that Mike said about how he had 180 yards against Michigan. 69 of those 180 came on one play. So
first play or one of the first plays.
Yeah, if you take that out, it's kind of like, But I know you can't take it. Yeah, he slings it a little bit. I watched some of their previous game highlights, and he's not bad. We have to stop the run though. Rutgers as a team, they average 4.8 yards per carry. They have 205 carries, 978 yards, and 15 rushing touchdowns this year. This team runs the damn ball, and that is their MO.
Damn,
a little bit of a
3 a game. Shit.
Yeah. A little bit of a throwback feel to this game. So I 100% agree with Mikey that this game and this offensive formation and how they run and their game plan kind of fits to our play style is a little bit more as well, where we still have some of those 3-4 guys from last year, still kind of learning the 3-3, and it's just going to be a physical game, and really the game's going to be one up front. So whoever wants it more is going to win. Obviously we've seen it with the Packers and the Badgers all year long. If we hold teams and win early downs and we force them in 3rd and longs, force them to make plays, we are going to be successful. If we allow them to run the damn ball down our throats and get into 2nd and 3s, 3rd and 1s all damn day, it's going to be a long damn day at Camp Randall.
Yep.
So let's win on early downs, stop the run, force them to beat us with the pass.
So Rutgers is, despite having what I would say is a soft schedule, 103rd in NCAA in yards per game.
Ew.
They're also 68th in points per game at 25.5.
Damn.
The Badgers are 30th in points per game allowed at 19.8. And they played a Washington State team who is way on the rise.
Yeah, Washington State's a good team, dude.
12, 13, I think.
Something like that.
13. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, they're continue cheering for Washington State because us losing to them makes us look better.
Yeah, especially if we beat Ohio State and our one loss is Washington State. We look fantastic. Yeah, exactly. And we made it a close game.
To watch this weekend too. Maryland and Ohio State. Both teams undefeated, so that's going to be interesting one as well. While
look
our
at Maryland not sucking finally.
Yeah, they're both going to be undefeated until Ohio State wins on Saturday, so that'll be
little
fantastic.
Tua can sling it.
He's pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
So that, and then looking at red zone scoring, it's still kind of a small sample size, but Rutgers is at 85%. Wisconsin is holding opponents to 75%, which isn't bad. This is where I'm looking for potentially the game to be decided. It's 3rd down. So like Jake said, 3rd downs are important. Rutgers converting on 3rd down is at 44.64%.
That's good.
The Badgers are currently allowing 40.98%. So essentially 41%.
That's not good. That's really bad.
No, we want that much. Probably like 3, 4, 5% lower, ideally, at least.
Yeah.
So, really for the Badgers defense, I'm looking for them to put together a good game on 3rd down is a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Mike, what is a matchup that you are watching for this game?
I got Muma Jong Meta against the Rutgers run game, I guess, collectively. I think this game is definitely designed for him to just go off. I mean, this is what his bread and butter was last couple of years. This is the reason he was a leading tackler on our squad for a reason. This team doesn't spread the ball nearly as much as the other 4 opponents that we've had this year. So I'm looking forward to Muma bouncing back and, getting back on the right track. Even after this Rutgers game, I guess the next 2, when Iowa, Illinois, they don't spread the ball nearly as much either as the other teams that we played this year until we get to Ohio State, I guess. But this is going to be a good opportunity for the first part of October for sure for Muma to bounce back after not playing nearly as much against Purdue. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how he responds this week.
If I said 11.5 tackles, would you say over or under?
Oh,
over.
Shit.
Over.
Ooh.
We're going to need over.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a good one.
We're going to need over, dude. I really feel that. If he gets 11 and we lose by a field goal, I'm telling you, bro,
One more tackle, we would have won.
Lose your shit. Yeah.
It could. What do you say, Mike? Over or under? We're putting you on the spot.
I'm going 10.5. It's going to be 10.5. It's going to be under.
All right. We'll see what happens. Jake, what's the matchup that you're watching?
So Mike brought his name up earlier. I'm going Braylon Allen versus Tyreen Powell. Tyreen Powell is a massive human being, by the way. 6'5", 240. He has 37 total tackles, 16 solo, 21 assists, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. In my opinion, when I was watching him, he's all right in space. He's an all right pass defender, but really where he thrives is in the run. He loves contact. He runs straight at the running back. He does not shy away from anybody. That is going to be a collision that could shake the stadium more than jump around, in my opinion.
I wonder if Phil Longo will try to use Braylon Allen in the passing game a little bit more, knowing that he might not be the best in coverage.
He's got sideline-to-sideline speed, in my opinion.
Okay.
And he's pretty good in play recognition, but he lives for going up an A-gap and finding a running back. That's what he lives for. That very well could be the game plan. Or, give a little play action and sneak the tight end behind him. Any tight end, I don't care. We got so many of them that we use now. I want Rucci to be good so bad. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got swag for some reason, but I want him to be good so bad. But Tyreen Powell, he's a pretty damn good player, leading tackler on that team. And if we're going to win, we have to establish the physicality. And obviously more responsibility goes on Braylon Allen now. So he's going to touch the rock about 30 times a game now. For all the people that were crying earlier in the year, he's going to touch it a lot. So his success is going to mean team success.
Yeah, and we need him to stay healthy. He's been it's not a knock on him at all, but he's dealt with a lot of nagging ankle injuries.
Bro, it's always an ankle. It's so trash.
So I'm going to say that I would rather see Ashcraft eat just because he's the guy that I brought up as a player that I was excited for in the primer.
That's fair.
But the matchup that I'm watching, I held on to this, is Phil Longo versus the Rutgers red zone defense.
Ooh.
So the Badgers currently have a 100% scoring rate when they're in the red zone. Rutgers is only allowing 58.33%.
Ooh.
Very low.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I come back to the strength of schedule. You look at the 4 teams outside of Michigan that Rutgers has played, that helps them. Michigan, however, converted 3 times for 3 touchdowns in the red zone. So I will say that I think Wisconsin is closer to Michigan than Virginia Tech, Northwestern, Temple, or Wagner are to Wisconsin.
Very well done. Very well done.
Even if the Badgers are 2 out of 3 and 2 touchdowns and a field goal, I'm confident with that.
Yeah,
that means good things for the Badgers offense. So that's the matchup that I'm watching. Now, Mike, what is your key to the game?
I think we got to find a way to generate turnovers, I think, just because this team, Rutgers, does take care of the ball. If we can win the turnover battle, because as I said before, these guys want to run the ball and they want to take time off the clock. We got to find a way to get a fumble recovery, get a pass rush for maybe one of their play action plays or something like that. Generate at least 1 to 2 turnovers and win that battle. We win this game. We the last couple games we've definitely been able to do that with getting some, whether it's interceptions, sack, fumble recoveries, etc. We got to keep that going because and this team just loves to take time off the clock. And if Rutgers takes a bunch of time off the clock and we go back to how we were in the beginning of the season offensively and getting all these 3 and outs, that's going to give them so much of the time of possession, and that's not going to set us up for success at all. So we got to find a way to generate a fumble or something throughout the game to give us a short field, even one time in the first half, and then we score. But somehow get another couple turnovers here.
Yeah. Create an extra possession, basically.
Correct. Yes.
All right, Jake, what's your key to the game?
Score 30 plus points.
I like it.
With that, our 3 wins, we all scored over 30 in our 3 wins. Our 1 loss, we scored under 30. So play with a lead, score early, score often. The offensive line, look me in the face. I'm so serious. Please beat the shit out of people. I'm being so serious.
Yes.
You have to set the physical tone in this game. The Rutgers are coming into this game, and this is kind of, and I don't want to say this because we lost this game, but it kind of feels like Washington State last year, where I didn't know how to feel about Washington State last year. But Washington State came in, and they were ready for the physicality of the Wisconsin Badgers. They were ready to deal with the hostile environment of Camp Randall. I almost said Lambeau Field right there because I was looking at a Packers logo in our background. But I'm being so serious.
All the pretty logos back there to be a distraction for you.
I'm so sorry. You squirrel. The Badgers offensive line has to set the tone early, and they have to continue to set the tone because the Rutgers, though their record may be a little skewed, I think they're a little bit better than some people are giving them credit, in my opinion.
I think so.
And I know Wagner doesn't really say much, but who the hell does Georgia play early in the year? Who the hell does Michigan play early in the year, right? They're number 1 and number 2. Just my opinion.
My key it's pretty basic. It's move the ball with a balanced attack. So like Jake said before, if you follow up a 14-yard run with a deep shot pass and having the defense on their heels, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So move the ball with a balanced attack and finish in the red zone. Ties in with my matchup. So just put a neat little bow on that. All right, Mike. Score predictions, 1 from the head, 1 from the heart. What's your score prediction from the head?
So as of today, I believe we're favored by 13. I think it was the spread.
Oh.
I do think Rutgers covers this game. I don't like the fact for a couple of reasons. Number 1, this is coming off of a bye week. Number 2, this is an 11 a.m. game. Number 3, Camp Randall will not be full come kickoff. I'm about 98% sure. The kids will still be trying to get into the game midway through the second quarter. Those 3 things do not set up. I think we get off to a slow start, unfortunately. I do think in the second half it's going to be similar to like a Buffalo where we finally get our shit together. But I got Wisconsin winning in my head 23-17.
Oh.
Huh.
Low scoring.
All right, Jake, what about you?
So I kind of have similar feelings, but like that Buffalo game, I still have them scoring a bunch of points. Also, I was going to make a joke because we had a bye last week. So half those kids that, didn't know that we had a game at 11 a.m. are going to wake up. We had a game today? Oh, we should probably go to the game. It'll be halfway through the third quarter. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I have us winning 37-28.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the middle, actually, of the two of you. So I really looked at where the averages are kind of at, with the Badgers being just over 30, Rutgers not allowing a lot of points, and then Rutgers averaging about 25 and the Badgers allowing about 19. I kind of just split the difference on a lot of those numbers. So I have the Badgers winning 30-22.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mike. Everything goes right. Your most optimistic projection. What do you say from the heart?
We cover the spread 30-14.
All right. Jake?
Defense, Mike. I like it, baby.
It's
not
I
40
just
to
go back to
6,
time
I'll
of
take it.
possession and what Rutgers wants to do at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I keep coming back to. So you mentioned it before the Michigan game, their one touchdown game in the beginning. That's all they really had. They moved the ball a little bit, took time off the clock, but that's all they got. So
yeah,
I just come back to time
than
possession and what they're
apparently
predicated on doing.
If I could
points are
add
more
my
important
offensive,
than.
sorry. If I could add my offensive confidence in this game and your defensive confidence, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be really confident in the Wisconsin Badgers after this week, because I have them from the heart. And I was really thinking about this. And Tyler, I looked at their points per game too. I have them lower than their points per game. We're definitely covering from my heart 44-24.
44-24. All right.
Okay.
I'm again kind of in the middle. So I feel like this could be the score of basically every Badger game outside of the Ohio State game this season. From the heart, like I could probably just pencil this in for all of those games. But this feels like such a Badger score. And I have 38-17.
Bro, they hit that at least once or twice this year already.
That was the Buffalo score.
Buffalo. Yeah. And then Purdue, right? Purdue, was that the final for Purdue? I think we won by 21.
I think it was, actually. I think it was.
I think we hit it twice this year, dude. Yeah. That is a Wisconsin score.
And I think I thought the Georgia Southern game ended up being pretty close to that too.
It did.
It very well could have been. Oh my God.
So 38-17. 38-17. Yeah, it feels like a.
Yeah, Purdue was 38-17. Georgia Southern was 35-14. And Buffalo, Wisconsin was 38-17, dude.
Yeah, 21-point dubs.
That's what it is.
I like it. If they get a third out of 5 games, 38-17, that would actually be insane. I would start believing in the Illuminati again.
Hey, my 40-6 looked real good for a little while against Purdue.
I was getting a little scared. I was like, dude, he's about to hit the nail in the head.
That would have been sick.
So maybe you don't have to believe in the Illuminati. Just believe in me.
That's fair.
All righty. Well, we will be back next Wednesday talking about the Badgers win. And like I said, if the Brewers manage to win today and tomorrow, we will talk about the Brewers before next Wednesday. Jake and I will also be back on Friday night with Bryant. I don't remember if Simon's going to be available or not to do the Raiders preview with us. And then other than that, keep an eye out for our scavenger hunt letters. 13 letters, 3 words. First person to comment the 10-minute mark at our live show on October 28th, what the phrase is going to win our 5,000 follower giveaway. And then other things, October 23rd, that is the date for our Bucks primer. Jake and I are going to do that, give it its own show, and have it separate from everything else. Other than that, Jake, I'm sure be talking to you soon, and then we'll be back on Friday night for sure. And Mike, we will see you next Wednesday.
Sounds good, fellas. Go Brewers.
Yes,
Bounce
sir.
back tonight.
Let's get it.
They got
Have a good one.
They got this one.
Talk to you guys later,
brother.